Hello, Professor Huygens and my classmates. My name is He Teng Cui, and my presentation today I'm gonna talk about the self-injury suicide in teen girls. The definition of suicide from CDC website, it is said, suicide is death caused by injuring oneself with the intent to die. Please take a look at this graph, and when you see the orange color, it shows that the age from 10 to 15 years old age, and where it shows that the suicide rate is very high in Canada and US and also other countries. It is worth noting that the suicide among teenagers have occurred in some developed countries. Generally, in global suicide data, most suicides occur in poor and backward countries, but developed countries account for a high proportion of youth suicide rates. This is another graph to show females' suicide rates. From World Health Organization, it is estimated that 62,000 adolescents died in 2016 because of self-harm, which is now the third leading cause of death for adolescents aged from 15 to 19. It is established that 1% of the population of the United States has tried to abuse themselves at one time or another. It is a growing trend among adolescent girls, especially white, middle-class females who suffer from low self-esteem, depression, and a lack of close friendships where they can express themselves. Other than suicide issue, there is self-injury problem. The definition of self-injury. From the book of Teenager Girls Exploring Issues Adolescent Girls Face and Strategies to Help Them. It is said, recurrent cutting or burning of one's skin, a sense of tension present immediately before the act is committed, relaxation, gratification, pleasant feelings, and numbness experienced concomitant with physical pain, a sense of shame and fear of social stigma, causing the individual to attempt to hide scars, blood, or other evidence of the acts of self-harm. In my article, I talk about the potential cause of suicide and self-harm and the method that they will usually use to hurt themselves. So it includes social media use, daily hassles, dissociation, mental issues. First, I will talk about social media use. From this article, it is said across 3 large surveys of adolescents in 2 countries, UK and US, those who spend more time on digital media reported lower well-being. Adolescents using digital media an hour or less a day reported the highest levels of well-being. And this is BBC News reported last year. This is teen girls in Europe countries, and her name is Molly Russell. She took her own life, and her family discovered distressing material about suicide on her Instagram account. And also in the interview on BBC website, it introduces that when people search more times on keywords, the social media platform will suggest more similar information to people who are interested, which is called algorithm. From another article, it talks about the law issue. The Children's Online Privacy Protection Act provides some protection to the privacy of young people, but applies only to children under age 13. Minors of ages from 13 to 17 have little legal protection in their online activities. So this paragraph shows that there is a great space to protect teenagers from the law perspective. Second thing, I want to talk about the daily hassles. What does daily hassles mean? Daily hassles are the frustrating and irritating everyday experiences that occur during transactions with the environment. For example, family, peers, school, and neighborhood. And daily life hassles are common chronic stressors that affect individuals' psychological adjustment. The third cause may be dissociation. It appears that ADSH and dissociation are positively correlated. Clinicians should nevertheless be aware of the association between ADSH and dissociation and be prepared to ask about one construct if it is clear that the other is present. And the fourth cause may be mental issues. The factors that lead an individual to suicide are usually multiple and complex and should not be reported in a simplistic way. Suicide is never the result of a single factor or event. Mental illness is a strong predictor of suicide, from WHO Press. In the book of Changed into His Image, from the biblical perspective, the author said, God designed us to experience a down emotion anytime we lose something that is important to us. The loss can be tangible, like the loss of a loved one, a job, a pet, a friend, or money, or it can be an intangible loss, like loss of respect in someone's eyes, or a loss of control in some area. When we think about the loss, we experience sorrow, and depression is the result of sorrowing without hope. Method. Usually girls choose more non-violent methods such as an overdose of pills or carbon monoxide poisoning. Prevention. From the article An Open Letter to the World's Children, it is said early detection and treatment are key to preventing episodes of mental distress reaching a crisis point and precious young lives being damaged and lost. And next part, I want to talk about the application of biblical counseling. First, counselors should be good listeners to teen girls. Counselors should have an in mind. First, they should understand main causes of self-harm and suicide in general, and have a certain understanding of counseling. When communicating with teenagers, they should learn to listen and then give the appropriate advice. If teen girls face the pressure from schools or parents, counselors should share the hope that the source of the ability to transfer pressure into motivation comes from God. Counselors could help teen girls how to release their burdens, bear the pressure, and fight negative thoughts by using scriptures. Another important thing is to pray with her and be her friend. Some teen girls maybe just need a person to understand what her thought it is, and there is no judgment. As an adult, you can bring her for a lunch, tea talk, movie night, that girls could feel relaxed. Second, counselors should talk about identity. Teen girls may have thoughts such like self-denial. For example, they will think life was meaningless, or they feel like very negative feelings, or they feel like they could not live up to their own standards or ideals. In the book of Show Her the Way, is that you could help girls realize that God creates them uniquely and on purpose. Womanhood is something that makes them who they are, and it is something they can embrace. This doesn't in any way mean that they have to wear makeup, love to dress up, or wear glittering shoes. It does mean we are key players in God's plan for His kingdom here on earth, and He created us on purpose. And in the lecture, the Professor Huygens also teaches students a Christian view of identity. Conclusion. Dr. Huygens mentions that adolescence is the period of life when a child develops into an adult. Categories in adolescence development are biological, cognitive, psychosocial, and moral aspects. The adolescence period is time when the outlook on the world, life, and values is gradually formed. During this period, teen girls need the correct guidance and help from adults. Through the study of this topic, I have a deeper understanding of the problem of self-harm and suicide among teenagers. Behind every thrilling data, there is a sad story. In families where suicide and self-harm have occurred, a lot of pain and sorrow have matured. These numbers are not cold. We should pay attention to the mental health of adolescents. On the other hand, people should realize that emphasis on protection is far not enough. This reminds us that there is still a long way to go. In helping young people grow up, every group could play important roles, including the national government, public influence, churches, and individual families. And I will end my presentation by using the Bible verse. From the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 14, "You are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden." As Christians, people shouldn't passively face everything that happened in the world. We should adopt a more positive attitude towards life to face the big challenge. And I hope this presentation can be an encouragement and reflection for everyone. Thank you.